Hey guys, in this video we are going to see how to set up a leaderboard for your game bot or game quiz or anything that's related to points, and we're also going to see how to check the rank or the position for a particular user. Okay, so this is primarily built using Google Sheets. So I'm sure when Fernando releases a native setup of sort function, that will be a better thing. But then in the meantime, maybe we can just go around with this. So let's look at a quick demo of how it's going to work out. So in my menu, I have two options. Uh, like that's a leaderboard and that is my rank. So let's look at leaderboard to start with. So you can see the top one has the name, and then there is points, and then there's a rank, and then there's number of people referred. So all these metrics I'm actually tracking, and I'm storing that in a Google Sheet. So Google Sheet, having the data in Google Sheet is the number one requirement here, right? So let's say I'm just scrolling through, and then I'm clicking on View More, so it shows more people from the leaderboard. I don't know. This is the third time it's not working when I'm demoing. Actually, I canceled my video thrice, but believe me, it works. You can see here. See, it works here, right? So for some reason in the demo it's not working. So let's do that for now. So now the second part I want to show is what is my rank. So this is a menu that's going to be present in each of your users menu, right? So one of the options, one of the buttons, menu buttons is going to be what is my rank, what's my position, whatever it is, your menu text, right? You just click on what's my rank. It will just do a lookup of the Google Sheet, and then it will identify your PSID, and it will show you your rank. And of course, it's entirely depends on you on what you want to show. Like for example, your rank, points, number of referral, and so on. So that entirely depends on you. So now that you have seen how the data will look like, now let's look into how this is implemented. So believe me guys, it's very simple. So all we are doing is something called as a sort function in Google Sheet. We are using, like I said, right? Google Sheet is a basic requirement here. So all the data is stored in a Google Sheet, and you're using the data from there. So for example, let's say this is my raw data. Or it's like you can call this my database, players database for my casual games, trivia games, my quiz board. So it has pretty much many information about my players and all that stuff. Um, Let me see. So one of the important points is the total points. So this is the points that's calculated, and then I have number of referrals, and then like I said, there is a PSID value, and also I have a trivia games value. So there are two different user IDs. You can ignore that. That's not relevant to this. So this is my overall raw database. You can consider this as my raw data. So what we are basically going to do is we are using a Google Sheet function called sort, right? So basically, we are going to use sort, and then we are going to define the ranges of sort, uh, and then we are just going to define whether you want it in ascending or descending order. As simple as that. So if you see here, this is my second Google Sheet. So I'm just going to import data from Google Sheet 1 to Google Sheet 2, but it will be sorted, right? So I have a column, static column called rank. So it's like a static number 1 to X, like depends on how much you want. So right now I have added it to the end of sheet, like around 5,000 or something like that. Uh, so it really depends on your use case, right? And then I have the CGPS ID. So this is one PSID value, one page PSID. There's a second page's PSID. So full name. This is again where all this information is being imported from the Google Sheet, my database. There's the points and number of reference, right? So let's look at the function. So all I'm doing is like it shows in the example here, right? I'm just putting up sort equals, and then I'm going to define what columns I want. So just remember that the columns that you're putting here, that will represent how it shows up in the new table, right? So for example, I wanted this one here. So this one is, I'm sorry, sheet one, C2 to C, right? So if you see here, sheet one is this one, right? It's the same thing. And then I wanted the next column, I wanted is TG's PSID, which is A2 to A, sheet one A2. So it is this column, this entire column. The reason I'm adding C to C is basically I'm just defining its entire column. So if I just give here, let's say C2 to 10, then only up to C10, row C, column C10 will be considered. But then I want the entire column to show up there, right? So I'm just using C there. Same thing goes with A2 to A, E2 to E, and so on, right? So now full name shows up on column E, so that's why we have it here, sheet E to E. And then after that we have points and number of referrals. So that will be in column K, and total points is K, and then your number of referrals is m. So these are the, so I want it in this specific order, so I just put it here. So you can just place it anyway. At the end of the day, this is just for our own reference. The data will be pulled into the chatbot, so it's entirely up to you. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is the next two fields here, next two parameters rather. So now we are going to define which row we are going to sort, which column we are going to sort. So in my case, I wanted to sort it by points. So for me, it's like one, two, three, four. Wait, what is this? How can it be four? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. This one. This is a static column. I forgot it. Sorry, guys. So only you have to consider only from here, right? So in my case, it is. I wanted it to be sorted by four, so it is one, two, three, four. You can see it's a points, and then there is the last one is this binary, true or false. So basically, this means whether you want to sort this by ascending order or not. So I'm saying false. This means this will be sorted by descending order. Now, if I give this as true, this entire data will be sorted by ascending order. So yeah, so this is how the Google Sheet is prepared. Like I said, the positioning of this column technically doesn't matter because we are going to pull this data into the Google Sheet. So the basic preparation for this is just using this sort function. Make sure that you're pulling in all these columns, and then making sure that you are putting the correct column number here, and then whether you want to sort it by ascending or descending, true or false. So if you want it by descending, it will be false. If you want it in ascending, it will be true. So now let's go to the visual presentation, right? So you can see it's just one single block here. There's nothing fancy. It's a Google Sheet integration. We are just using dynamic gallery. We are creating a dynamic gallery and just using pulling up the relevant sheet name, worksheet name, and the sheet name. And then there are no filters as of now because I'm just going to put it. And anyway, we are going to pull the data which is already sorted here. So technically, it doesn't matter to us. So you can just put it. So here, for example, the D is name, so full name, and then rank. I'm just putting it as rank, number referred, sorry, points, rank, and number referred. So I'm just putting it here. So for example, let's say if I wanted to show points, it will be like this. If you haven't used Google dynamic galleries, guys, this is one of the most powerful setup or rather feature in Chartrace. You should definitely check this out. So once you do a single braces, it will actually show you all the column headers of the Google Sheet that you're connected. So in my case, it is rank, PSID, CGTG, full name, points, number of referrals. It's the same thing here, right? So now I want points. So this is the relevant column, points. Now I want to display rank. So I'll just remove this. So let's say I just type one bracket and it pops up. So for me, it's rank. Let me just, it's okay. And then number referred. So obviously number referred is column F here. So I'm just putting F, and that's it. One thing you can notice here is there's nothing in the image URL. It's blank. I left it blank by default because right now I don't have any, what do I call that? The profile photo, profile image of the players, right? So I haven't collected that. As you know, Facebook template is you can't import the URL profile image URL of the user directly into the Google Sheet because the URL keeps changing. So we need to actually import that into a third-party system, something like Cloudnary or other third-party systems similar to that, and then generate the URL. So that will be a different video. I'm planning to set up a video on that. So maybe that time we can add one more column here. So for now, there's no URLs. I'm just leaving it blank, and also make sure that you are removing this URL also for the pagination card, or else it will be like the spacing will be odd, right? So that's it. So once you're done, you just publish and you just, I mean, it's entirely up to you how you want to do that. So I remember one somebody mentioned in the Facebook group, like in Europe, the persistent menu is not available. What we do, which is valid question. So it's entirely up to you how you present this data. So you can just add it as a dialog flow command or a keyword or something like that. At the end of the day, you just need to trigger this flow. You can see like this is just a flow called leaderboard. That's it. That's nothing fancy. For me, the easiest way I've chosen to do or rather display this is doing it through the menu option. I'm sorry, where is it? Let me just pull up my phone. Yeah, so this is the easiest way for me, and rather it's like more user intuitive. So I just highlighted it as added two menu items here, leaderboard and what's my rank. So at the end of the day, it's entirely up to you. You can define it as keywords, dialog flow, AI, weight, whatever it is, right? You can do it the way you want. So yeah, this is about the leaderboard. So then, yeah, for example, let's talk practically. There are like that right now 3,000, 4,000 odd players in my database, right? So it's like somebody who's in the thousands. How do they check what is their rank? It doesn't make sense. They just keep on hitting view more, view more, view more, view more. Not practical, right? So what I did is I just added one more button called "What's my rank" in the menu. So if you could see it here, so it's like what's my rank. So you can see what once the user clicks on what's my rank, it actually pulls up things like your rank is one, this is the points and number of referrals. So basically all this information is again pulled from the Google Sheet. So if you look at the setup, again it's going to be very very simple. It's a get. Let me just pull myself here. So let's look at the Google Sheet integration. It's a get row. It's as simple as that, nothing fancy here. And then I'm just choosing the spreadsheet worksheet and so on. And then I put up my condition, obviously, because I'm going to pull using the user ID, right? So, and because the user is actually clicking from the menu, obviously we know the user ID. So we are going to filter it. And we're just going to, I created certain custom fields called player rank already. So I'm just assigning it to the Google variable here, Google data, Google Sheets data, and all of these are existing custom fields. I'm just updating the information here, right? So once that's done, automatically it comes here, and then we just show it in a normal text block. This is just a normal text block here, nothing fancy, simple normal text block. See. So the previous, if you see here, this is actually a dynamic sheet. So all the text you see here is actually from dynamic gallery, because it's going to be a scrollable list of users, of players. So we needed it to be dynamic gallery. But here, this is a one-on-one thing. So if Deepak is checking it, it's going to show only my data. Let's say if Mark is going to check it, only Mark's data. If Ganesh is going to check it, it's going to be Ganesh data, and so on. Sorry guys, I'm putting your name here. So yeah, it's as simple as that. And simple, it's done. So you can see here, like I like adding all these balloon effects and heart effects. So like you might have noticed it. So the moment I click on what's my rank, so it goes into this Google Sheet, takes the data, and then it displays the data, and then we have balloons, hearts. I'm like a sucker for this. So yeah. Oh, by the way, this balloon and heart will work only on mobile devices. It doesn't work on desktop. So unfortunately, can't do much about that, right? So let's say if somebody whose ranks is in the thousands, they do the same thing. Their data will show up depending on what their points is, how many people they have referred, and so on, right? Okay, guys, this is like a very basic setup. Like I said, you just need to prep your data, already existing data in Google Sheet. So just create a new Google Sheet and then like pull over the data using, oops, using the sort function, and just create a sort function. Obviously you need to play around with it. So because I'm using multiple columns, you can see I'm starting. There is a bracket here. Uh, and then there is the column number, which column you want to sort it by, and whether you want it to sort by ascending or descending. So once this Google data is done, that's it. Then your flow is going to be Very, very simple. So let me just show the flows again. There's nothing here. So this is just a dynamic gallery sheet. If you know how to create a dynamic gallery, it's like as simple as that. You just relevant information and then showcase the relevant information here. That's it. Simple as that. And yeah, so what I did was, like I said, I just went to, you could set them as a bot. I set them through bot menu. Yeah, if unfortunately if you or your users are from Europe, obviously they cannot have access to the bot menu, so they might wanna check the other options like Dialogflow, AI, and so on. So you can see here, like I just added two items here, top 10. I just start another flow and add the relevant flow here. Same thing goes towards my rank, and then done. So yes, guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I know this is a very, very simple thing. In my opinion, Google Sheets is like one of the best solutions available. I started realizing this after I found out like this very simple method of sorting data. So if you want to manipulate the data in any way, always make sure you check out Google Sheets first. If there's an inbuilt function in Google Sheet, Google Apps Script, or whatever it is, utilize that and then manipulate the data within Google Sheet and then bring it back into the bot. So this is like a very, very powerful tool, very, very powerful feature that we should be making use of a lot. Yeah, so if you like the video, make sure that you like it. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, like every day, every time I say. Yeah, feel free to comment in the YouTube video itself, or maybe in the chat race Facebook group. Feel free to ask any questions. See you guys.